Hey guys, and welcome to the Based or Cringe tier list of 3.26 Mercenaries League. So we have tested 12 strategies, and all of those will go up on this board right now. I have asked my editor to add divine per hour numbers onto the thumbnails. We don't do this on YouTube, okay? So I get accused of this, but if you go to my YouTube and you go to videos, there is no div per hour numbers on any of the Based or Cringe. These are the old ones, and also on the new ones. I don't put that there because I want the strategy to speak for itself. I want there to be div per map number at the end, div per hour, and all other conclusions like what type of loot you're farming and all that, how easy it is to liquidate, how difficult it is to run the maps, run the content. So div per hour is not the most important metric, but to some people it is. And when you're looking at a Based or Cringe tier list, what's the highest number strategy? I only want to try the top 1, top 2, top 3, whatever. So for the tier list, we add div per hour to the thumbnail. And I don't only rate these strats for div per hour, I also rate them for fun. So if something is high div per hour, but it was really cringe to run, I will put it lower. If something is lower div per hour, but it was really fun to run, I will put it higher. So this is my subjective rating of the 12 strats that I've tried this league. Starting with Alch and Go. Okay, so this was the first strat we ran. We usually do an Alch and Go start to get a baseline of how much loot you can farm with Alch and Go, but this time it went really good. Like these numbers early league, this is week 2, with a not insane character are really good numbers. So I'm actually inclined to put Alch and Go on A straight up, because I also found a Headhunter, which was really fun, but of course that was just a one-time thing, of course. So I think this goes firmly in A tier. Fun strat, easy, no hassle to set up, no crazy scarab buying, not difficult. Number 2, map farming. So map farming was really fun. I ran a similar strat one league before, but there was no T16.5 maps then in the game, and now there is, and they are very nicely positioned in between T16 and T17. It is hard to sell the maps if you want to regex and then sell to TFT or whatever. But async trade is coming into the game next league, and so if people can regex your windows, this will be so much easier to sell maps in bulk. You have to loot a lot of maps. It's 2,200 maps I farmed in 50 maps, but it was 21.6 div per hour with very conservative map pricing. And you can also just use the strat to fill up your King's Marchers. I think this is an A tier as well. Number 3, Breach. Now, Breach was okay, but pretty meh numbers, like for investing a bit more into the maps, not much better than Alch and Go. It's much better than it used to be because you drop all the splinters in one spot at the end, but it's currently C tier for me, honestly. It was decent XP and gold, but it wasn't quite as fun. It's somewhere in between C and B, but the next league is probably confirmed Breach. I am struggling to put Breach higher than C. It's close. It could almost be B, but listen, Breach is getting reworked next league. It's pretty much confirmed. By the time this video goes out, it's probably gonna be Giga confirmed, but I don't know anything about that yet. So for now, I'm putting it on C. Number 4, but first a quick word from the sponsor of this video, boot.dev. With boot.dev, you will learn backend development from start to finish in the Python and Go languages. They believe the smartest way to learn to code is to make sure you're never bored. So they take inspiration from game design and incorporate quests, levels, achievements, and leaderboards into their process. It's designed to get you writing a ton of code because they believe practicing is how you really learn. They never want a student feeling like they spent money on something that isn't helping them. So they offer a 30-day, no questions asked refund policy. And they offer a free demo of every course and its interactive features. They also have an active Discord community, which is there to help if you ever get stuck in your coding challenges. Click the link in the description and use my code Empyrean to get 25% off your first payment for boot.dev. That's 25% off your first month or your first year, depending on the subscription model you choose. Thanks to boot.dev for sponsoring this video. Gold farming. So this is not a div per hour strategy. I think we basically sustained currency over 50 maps, like we spent a lot and we only got gold. But most of that investment was the Bloodline Scarab, which later got hijacked by other strats and got stacked up in price, or jacked up in price. So you drop the Bloodline Scarab and you still make probably 800, 900, 1 million gold an hour with just the cheapest scarabs. Really good gold farm, but it's just gold farming. It's not that fun. The opportunity for big drops doesn't really exist here. I'm putting it on B because it's a good gold farm, but it's not fun. It's just a decent gold farm strat. So I'm gonna put it at B. Number 5, Beast Smuggling. So this strat was decent currency and doesn't require a strong character, but bottling up the beasts was giga cringe. There is aspects of this strategy that are good, like the Smuggler's Cache. Just putting that on your maps and just looting some blueprints every map is really good value. And the beasts are good, especially later on in the league when the crafting takes over. But this was not fun at all. I didn't like the beast strat personally because of the bottling of the beast in the menagerie. Honestly, I think it still makes D tier. It's not quite E or F. I think to some people this would be a lot higher because of the beast. If you run this properly and look at the beast and read the beast, asynchronous trading would also catapult this higher up if it's easier to sell stuff. But selling the beast is not the difficult part. It's the bottling them up or not capturing them if you notice that they are a bad type of beast on the spot, on the map, while you're just playing the game. So to me, this is a D. Number 6, Legion. Legion was fun, as the thumbnail says. Legion is fun, but is it good? Numbers wise, this was later than this was like a week plus later than the All Can Go, so this is already later in the league. I didn't run a base Legion strat, so I had no comparison to how good it is without the break them out over and over again scarab, which makes it really difficult to run. And for that difficulty, the gains were not great. It is pretty fun though. I don't think it quite makes the A tier. I think later on in the league, and the stronger the character you have, you know, the more you can break them out. Like this could go up. But yeah, I think I'm putting it on B. Number 7, Blight was rough. We spent so much time setting up those maps and so much effort setting up those two characters with Bazooka to work together, and we still failed a bunch of maps. It was really hard to run. It was laggy. We were disconnecting. There was all sorts of issues. And after all that investment, we still made... So this number here is per person. This was a duo strat, so we made twice this much, but then we had to split the profits, of course, 50-50. I did not have fun doing the Blight strat, honestly, because we couldn't really make it work well. I think it could be better if you make it work well, but I'm putting it on D. It had some really funny moments, which kind of drags it up, but yeah, I think it's it broke the graphics. And it wasn't insane loot. And we didn't get lucky with any crazy drops. But we didn't even do that much, so it's understandable. I think I'm putting it on D though. It's time for the big guns. Number 8, Abyss. Abyss immediately goes in the S tier for 2 reasons. 1, insane numbers, 35 div per hour. Number 2, I personally helped innovate the Abyss strat with the Lighthouse map, which I'm really happy with that it ended up working after I tested this last league. This league, that was actually a good Abyss strat, so it goes in S tier. It was fun. There's a lot of things. It's like 4+ div per map, chasing the abysses. If you have a caster character, awesome. You can instantly open all chests with the caster mastery. If you don't have a caster character like I did, you had to add an extra link and the caster mastery, but that's okay too. It's an insane strat. It was probably one of, if not the best strats this league, especially mid-league. And I think it just continues. You can do scarabs with it. You can do raw currency with it. Easy to liquidate either way. Insane. S tier strat. Next strat, the Adorned farm. Yet again with Kurosaki. 2-player, 7 to divine investment, 20,000 scour chance, minus 17.5 div per hour per person. We didn't get shit, and we destroyed our mouse wheel in the process. F tier. Can't wait to do it again next league. Number 10, div card farming. Now this strat is a returning strat, and we made it juicier with the T16.5 maps instead of T16. It jacked up the investment by a lot, but it also jacked up the profits. But most of those profits, or a lot of those profits, came from a lucky phase breaker drop, which will be in the meme museum later. It's still an insane strat. I don't know if it quite gets S tier. We got kind of unlucky with the mid cards, and we got one lucky turn in. We got some good turn-ins. Basically, it's a lot easier now because you don't have to roll the boxes from your inventory. There is just currencies on the boxes themselves. So that's kind of nice. But you still have to roll a bunch of boxes. So I don't think it makes an S tier. I think it gets an A because the numbers were insane. And it was reasonably fun. Turning in the million cards though for currency, that was not fun. It almost bumps that down. But I think it deserves an A. Number 11, the Ritual Redemption. So Ritual has been reworked, right? So they dropped the invitation now for the King of the Mist boss. And we actually haven't found a single one of those in the 50 maps. And then I had to run an extra 120 maps to find one, just because I was curious of how good it is when you actually find one. And what if we added that to the 50 maps numbers? But this number does not include that. It would be a little better. It would be an extra 1.5 diff per hour better, I think. But it didn't. But it was still good after all that. But there's a lot of window shopping. You are re-rolling the window multiple times every time. Decent numbers. This is later on in the league now. So this strategy is not twice as good as All Can Go because it's so much later on in the league. 21 diff per hour has much less buying power, like a month plus in, than 10 diff per hour does, like a week in, 1.5 weeks into the league. So that's worth noting, but I'll put it in B. I think Ritual kind of redeemed itself. Previously, I would have put it in F or E, like past Ritual strats that I've done. So I think it's making a comeback. And the last, but definitely not least, Incursion. Incursion is insane. It is the best strat this league. It is the most diff per hour strat that we've done. It is fun because you have to go fast and you have to keep up with the shrine that you want to not expire. If you're running a Giga Headhunter Mageblood combo character, you can get away with just doing one shrine, but you can do 2 shrines too. It's probably getting nerfed. It was outputting so much currency and so much just so much raw loot out of the Avas because you're killing hundreds and hundreds of yellow monsters and thousands of blue monsters. This was probably the way to farm actual raw mirrors and locks. It gets an S tier. Fun, insane currency, probably getting nerfed. But if it's not, then maybe next league we'll try it again. And that's all the strats that we've tried this league. Abyss and Incursion are the clear winners, but these numbers, we have to point out that as we go later and later on in the league, those divines have less and less buying power compared to a mirror or compared to the really good items. Week 2, 12 diff per hour All Can Go is incredibly solid. I am really curious of how an All Can Go strat is 2 months into the league, or whenever we tested these strats, or 1 month into the league, because those numbers, you know, are just snapshots of whenever we did those strats. The economy changes, time moves in one direction, and then those divines are now worth way less compared to a mirror. They might be worth way more compared to chaos. Things change. So, you know, Path of Exile economy is like one of the coolest things about it. I think it's really interesting. And now we're getting async trading. So I'm really curious of what that's going to do to prices, if anything. So yeah, hopefully that was interesting enough. Maybe you got some inspiration. These are the strats. All of these we have a full video on and full breakdown of what looted outputs, how much time it took to run them, all of that stuff. If you're interested in any of those videos, there'll be a playlist linked in the description. You can find each and every one of these. Anyway, thanks for watching the Base Store Cringe stuff this league. There will be more next league. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.